everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to kind of put my 2 cents in on something I've been seeing lately on YouTube. Not in a lot of people's videos, but enough where I kind of want to put my opinions out there. It is regarding the applying false lashes underneath your lashes, so underneath as opposed to on top. Now, I kind of debated doing the video on this and also demoing it just because I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, do something to their eye, that kind of thing. If you're someone who has lots of allergies to maybe latex, or you find that even when you wear false lashes on the top, your eyes always get itchy or watery, you do get some irritation, or you're someone who's very sensitive to things even going near their eye, you're someone who doesn't have a really steady hand, I don't recommend doing this technique. It's definitely a skill that's built up over time. I personally, as a makeup artist, I find that this is actually kind of easy to do it on yourself, but that's me. I've been applying lashes for a long time now. So I think also too is I have a very high tolerance to things in my eyes. You know, I can poke my eye. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of get that aside to kind of forewarn you. This is maybe a technique that not all may want to try, or you may be a little squeamish. But so this technique is supposed to be a way of using false lashes but make it look like you have none on. So I actually have a very delicate pair, half. I basically cut a pair of lashes in half and I applied them just on the end, and I will zoom in and do some close-ups so you can see. But when my eyes are closed, there is no band at the top. It looks very natural. I like this technique personally for something like this to enhance the outer corners. Honestly, I love it. And you know, like I said, right now I'm wearing a small little half pair, and if you were to look up super close, you can't even tell I have false lashes on. I mean, it is completely undetectable, except if you were to lift my lid, you can see a little bit of a band. So with all that being said, I do want to go into some do's and don'ts, and I will demo and show you my technique and what I like to use this for. If I'm going to go in with a full, heavy, voluminous set of lashes, I'm just going to use the top technique. I won't use this under the lash technique for it, but for subtle, you want to look like you got fabulous lashes, this is the steps I would take. The first step is choosing the lashes. You're not going to be able to use every single false lash that's out there. You're going to want something with the thinnest band possible. I would highly recommend one with an invisible band if you can find it, and honestly, there's so many out there. I just don't think you'll have a hard time finding them. So get one that has that invisible band. For instance, the one that I'm wearing right now is from Kiss. It's the chic style, and this actually, I only used one lash because I kept it on the ends as opposed to doing a full band. We'll get into more of that later, but I just cut it in half and I used one half of the lash for one eye and the other half for the other eye. If you have something that's pretty much the same going across as far as design, you can get away with that, as opposed to something that's a little bit more like a Demi Wispy, for instance. You can only use half of it. But anyways, so something like that. Ardell has plenty. The black 122s are some. There's black 110s. There are plenty of them out there. What you're going to want to stay away from, and I wish I had one. I'll insert a picture in inserts as we go along this video, but I do have a pair that have the thickest band ever. They're just so heavy. You're not going to want to do that. That's ones that you're going to just keep aside for when you want to apply on the top. Maybe you're doing some dramatic wing liner. Personally, this technique is for someone who doesn't want to do the wing liner. Maybe they have a hard time even applying them on the top. Personally, I find this easier, and it just looks better, honestly. But the next thing is your adhesive. Obviously, if you have a latex sensitivity and allergy, you're going to want to go in with something that's latex free. I personally haven't found an issue with latex, knock on wood, but the one I use, and it doesn't really matter the brand, as long as it's a lash glue that you like. if it's Duo, Revlon, House of Lashes. You know, there's plenty of them out there. The one I currently use is the Revlon Precision one. This one I like, and whether you're using any other brand, whether it's latex free or not, I do recommend using one that has a little bit of a wand, so you can apply the thinnest amount of glue possible. The squeezy tube kind, like the Duo ones, they do have some that are in the little wand as well, but the Duo ones in the tube that you squeeze, it's harder to get the thinnest possible amount of glue on there. So I do recommend getting the one with the little wand. So with your application of your adhesive, it has to be the thinnest amount of glue possible, because you obviously don't want to get glue in your eye. That's like the biggest thing, and that was my biggest fear of even trying this personally for myself is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go blind. And that's also my biggest fear of filming a video like this, because I don't want to put content out there that people may injure themselves. You know, this is something, advisory, be very, very careful. Your eyes, you know, gosh, you don't even need to explain how important your eyes are. So just please be very careful when doing this. You're gonna want that glue to almost completely dry, because if you go in with it gooey, it's gonna get in your eye. If you go in with it thick, but yeah, it's gonna go even past the amount of time when you would apply it for your top. You want it to almost practically dry. And when applying them, you'll see this in the demo, and this is going to be a hard one to demo just because you can't really get like up in my eye. So I hope that this is going to be helpful. I'll really try to explain things well as we're going along. But you're not going to apply this to the skin, to the fleshy part of your eye. I cannot explain that more. You do not want to put this on the fleshy part of your eyelid. You're going to want to keep it just on the eyelashes. Even though you can go in and tight line, you know, and it's usually not very harmful to our eye, this is glue. You know, whether it's latex free or not, you're not going to want to put glue on that fleshy part. It's very delicate, so keep it on the lashes. So this is going to be a very steady hand technique. You're going to have to, you know, go slow. And the way I do it, I personally find that they just, boop, they pop right on, super easy. So let's get into the demo. Choose your false lash. I used these, I cut them in half. I don't recommend going in with the full band and just popping them on that way. I think you're more likely to poke your eye, you're more likely to get adhesive in your eye. And honestly, you can do this, if you want to do a full band, you can do half at a time. It's better to take a little bit more time to do that than go in and potentially ruin a makeup look, hurt your eye, or, you know, just have a complete disaster. So I always recommend cutting them in half. So I got my scissors here. I'm actually going to take off the ones I have now, and I will reapply them and show you how I did that. So I have taken them off and actually stuck them here on this little palette so you can see. So they're completely cut in half. And like I said, if you want to use both of these, you'll just put in half at a time. I love just the accents on the end. When I get to my inner corner, I personally think it looks a little bit more fake. Just make sure that the length isn't too long when you're going in the inner corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my adhesive. Now you're going to do that a little bit differently than you normally do. Normally you would put it on the bottom part when the lashes curve, because when you stick them down, that's where you're going to want to put it. This way, you're actually going to want to put the adhesive right on the top of the lashes. So when you put it up in there, it's going to get that part. And if you put it on the bottom, it's going to get in your eye. And it's actually, when you close your eye, it's going to stick to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead, get my lash glue. And I'm going to put, like I said, the smallest amount. I'm actually going to put this down and let this dry, and then go in with the next one and apply my adhesive. Another thing too, if you are going to reuse your lashes, you know, get couple wear out of them, make sure to clean off any of the previous adhesive. You want the band to be nice and clean, because the more buildup, obviously it's going to make that band more thick and kind of, irritate your eye. Okay, so the first thing is to get a mirror that you can hold in your hand or something that you can keep super close. I just have a little compact here. It's a blush, and I'm going to put it down so that way I can look down into a mirror. That way you can just pop them up. Okay, now I'm going to grab my lash that's all ready to go, and I'm just going to keep my eyes super wide. Just place those and let go. I like to get the back of a tweezer and kind of push those into the lashes. And it seriously is that easy. If at any point you put this on and you found that it's irritating your eye, something hurts, pinches, take them off right away. You don't want to chance it. Even with false lashes, it could still poke your eye. I'm going to go in with the next pair. And there we go, we're done. I'm not kidding you when I say if you're comfortable getting a little close to your eye, keeping your eye open and wide to kind of just pop those on, it takes such a short amount of time. I have an easier time doing this than doing the top ones, honestly. And I think that you would be happy with just doing something like this for every day. If you were using something like a Demi Wispy, these are the Ardell Demi Wispies, and they're smaller in the front. What you would do is you would just cut that in half, put on your end just like we did, pop it up, then you would go in with the inner corner and do the same thing. The inner corner is going to be a little bit more challenging because you kind of have to get in there, but cutting them in half is the best way to do it. Don't go in full force. Honestly, it's just going to be a mess. If you can, good for you, but I personally don't recommend. I would do the technique of cutting them in half. That's just me, but that's it. I know this was kind of a hard thing to demo, and I'm hoping with my editing skills, I'll be able to kind of zoom that in, show you a little bit better, but it is that easy, and I did that in real time. It was just me, boop, and letting go, boop, and letting go. That is my take on the applying of lashes underneath the lashes as opposed to the top. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'm always here to answer them. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, you know where that button lives. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. And now for the lips, I am going to use two MAC ones. The first one is Sin, and this one is a very deep shade, and I'm going to use this more on the outer part of the mouth,